There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Reusse with Sports Talk.
Actually, it's Myron Medcalf filling in here on a Friday afternoon. Hope everybody's getting ready for a good weekend. A lot of fun things planned. Fellas, what do you have planned? You got big plans this weekend?
Baseball, pretty much all weekend.
Baseball, right?
Yeah. Although we do have breaking news.
We do. I was going to segue into that.
I will be taking on TC Bear tomorrow at Target Field.
Okay.
In the Home Run Derby. I had asked Manny, but Manny's going to be working Saturday at Sports Talk tomorrow, so Manny isn't able to join me. And I think I'm the only member of this air staff that's actually beaten TC once.
Really?
Because TC's a ringer, man.
Is he?
Oh,
well, Harrigan, I did the Derby last year with Harrigan. And Harrigan tied TC.
Okay. Yeah.
They both hit 2 home runs, I think.
Do we know if TC's clean? I mean, has anybody ever wondered?
Hey, he's a Bear.
I mean, do we know if he's got a little extra or something?
He might, but he's got supernatural powers. I mean, he's legit. He is legit.
Just at some point, you got to, why isn't he tested?
The first time I ever did it was when I did it with Rookie. And if you ever want to feel good about yourself athletically, do something with Rookie. That's my advice. But we did it. This would have been, it was the summer my wife was pregnant with my first son, and he's 6. So this would have been 7 years ago. And I was still playing amateur baseball at the time.
Yeah. You killed him.
Well, yeah, but you're hitting a slow pitch softball.
Yeah.
And then Rookie looked at me and went, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What? I'm supposed to hit a home run." He's like, "Not that many." But he did hit one. That was the one time Rookie, in doing it about 700 times, he actually did hit one that day.
Did he?
So I felt good that I got to be in the presence of the Rook when he hit his lone home run.
Well, that's fun. I mean, that's good. I mean,
it's a cool
hopefully
event.
You win.
It's fun. It is a cool time, and we're always happy when the Twins ask us to do it. It's fun.
I'll tell you what we're not happy about. Mr. Ohtani.
Oh,
the two-way superstar. Listen, I'm not for the it doesn't work people. Like it can still work. He can pitch, he can bat, he can do it. I just
wonder if he has to make some adjustments, right?
Well, I just wonder if they're going to shut the experiment down, because to me, this is confirming all of the doubters. If you didn't know, Ohtani has been placed on the DL. He's got a ligament sprain in his
grade 2 UCL sprain.
It's something in his elbow.
Yep.
Which is never good for a pitcher, right? Maybe the last thing you want, especially in early June.
And they're going to be doing, they did like a stem cell injection or something.
I saw
they tried it yesterday, and they're going to wait they're going to reevaluate in 3 weeks. And
that's always scary.
Best. But like anytime you hear like they're going to reevaluate,
that's scary.
They're going to hope for the best, then it basically most of the time always means he's going to need Tommy John.
Well,
right?
But remember, though, they did the same thing with Tanaka, because he had, I think it was even towards the end of his first year, they suggested that he got Tommy John surgery. He elected not to kind of wait it out, and he just came back and pitched the next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't as good as when he was when he first came to the major leagues, but he ended up pitching okay without having to get surgery. I still think it's such a bummer, because he was really, getting that hardcore fan base of non-baseball fans. They just wanted to see excitement to the ballpark.
Yeah.
And he wasn't scheduled to pitch this weekend at Target Field, but even so, I think there's a lot of people that were coming just to see him maybe hit or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a shame that it had to happen, especially a month plus ahead of the All-Star break, because he would have been the main attraction at the All-Star game, guaranteed.
Well, and to Manny's point, this is a guy who we hope he's back in 3 weeks. We don't know. We don't know what the future holds. This is a guy who has such a strong contingent of reporters following him from all over the world. Yeah. Obviously, there's a Japanese contingent. He can't even do one-on-one interviews. He does not do one-on-one interviews because there are so many requests. He's got like this specific media schedule because there are legitimately hundreds of reporters who are following the Angels. You'll see it this weekend, following the Angels all over America just to keep up with him. Like, that's how big he is. Huge for the sport, like you said, the casual fans. And then he's trying to do something that we haven't seen in modern baseball history, right? We haven't seen someone try to be a two-way guy. My concern is this. I like this idea of seeing if he can do it. I hope he encourages people in the future, young guys coming up. Maybe this is the start of a trend. Maybe he becomes the modern pioneer. And my fear is this is really just going to lead to the Angels saying, we got to pick one, buddy. And the reality is you're a pitcher. That's where you're more valuable. And that's what we're going to try to get out of you and over the course of your career. It's cool that you can do both. It's cool that you have this unique skill set, but that's not the more valuable skill set. And therefore, we're going to shut you down. And that bums me out. I want to see it. I want to see them try.
And keep this in mind, too, because he came over here 2 years before he could have just elected to become a natural free agent. Yeah. He's making nothing. He's making the league minimum this year. He did get a $3 million signing bonus. So
and I bet he got
someone's going to get to him
and
get to his representation and say, hey, here's the deal.
Yeah.
You either have to focus on one or the other. And obviously, because he doesn't have a position, he should become a pitcher and a really good one. And then when they play an interleague game, he can still hit when he's on the mound. But he stands to make a lot of money if he can find himself to get healthy and on the right track, because that's a once in a generation arm that he has.
I wonder if Myron maybe pull the plug on him just being a 3 or 4 days out of the week DH along with pitching, and they just can still use him for like pinch hitting situations where he's not in the lineup every day as a DH and then every fifth day as a pitcher. But in certain situations, maybe you can let him come up to the plate and pinch hit for somebody in the bottom of the ninth in a tie ball game or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's something they'll explore. But you do kind of get the sense that they're going to go the knee-jerk route and just say, nope, you got to pick one. And with like what Reaver said too, it kind of makes sense from the standpoint of, if he gets on track as a pitcher and he ends up being really good, he's looking at eventually making $30-some million a year if he can keep this going.
Well, and I don't know, as big as he is across the ocean, right? Like, money ain't going to be his issue. I mean, I don't know what he's doing with Japanese endorsements, but my guess is...
it will be if he keeps getting hurt.
True. But, I think ultimately the guy will make money. And as you mentioned, Reavers, he didn't come here for money. He had an opportunity to make a lot more money, and he didn't. This is a guy, what I love about Ohtani is he not only accepted this challenge, he said, I want this.
And I want to earn it.
It's not that the Angels and everybody else are saying, hey, we want to see if you can do this sort of circus act. This is a guy who, when there was talk of maybe not using him as much, said, wait a minute, guys, I want to do this. Like, let me try to do this. And Manny, what you said is reasonable. Hey, let's see if we can make some adjustments and not shut this entire experiment down. I don't think baseball execs are reasonable, especially when it comes to a young pitcher who now has a ligament strain in his elbow.
Because even if let's take the hitting portion of his game out of this. I mean, he throws hard. He throws 100 miles an hour. Yeah. And typically those guys who throw that hard, they eventually get to a point where, whether it's earlier in their career or later in their career, where they have to get Tommy John surgery or they have some sort of elbow issue, because that's pitchers who throw hard. They typically have those issues. So even if you take the hitting portion out of it, he's probably going to have to look at making some adjustments to just his pitching style anyway. Not anything drastic, but just little things here and there, little tweaks here and there to his game, just so that he can hold up and last.
Yeah, my heart says that I want to see him try. My head says you got to get the most out of his career. It's early June. You just can't take too many risks with a young player like that. We'll talk more about this and some other things happening in Twin City Sports after this. Myron Medcalf back on 1500 ESPN.
Sorry, Manny and I were heavily discussing the fact that my Faribault Falcon girls softball team just won fast pitch team just won the state championship. So we were talking about that because Manny's covered a bunch of these before. So
okay,
sorry not that we were ignoring you, Myron, in any way, but we were yeah. So congratulations to the girls. Congratulations to the Faribault Falcons. That's what we do. We just win championships, Myron. That's what we do.
That's good, man. That's good. You said fast pitch.
Fast pitch. You know, by the way, have you guys ever tried to hit? I was a baseball player.
No, I was going to say that. Jenny Finch?
Oh yeah.
What, you see that video of her?
Yes.
Striking out major leaguers.
Yes, I've seen all of them.
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
No, it's hard.
I have tried to hit off of high school fast pitch.
Can't do
pitchers before. It's impossible. I don't know how they do it. It's impossible.
I had lined up in the batter's box because we're like, okay, come on. I took one pitch and went, nope, I can't do it. See ya. I said, I'm not even going to try because I can't do it.
I mean, it's legit, and I think it's unfortunate that like women who play a sport like softball, you have so many guys who will go, well, I could do that, and really you couldn't. I get this a lot. I get goofballs who always ask me, I bet we could beat the Lynx. Me and my buddies could beat the Lynx. I'm like, let me tell you something.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Not only could you not beat the Lynx, you don't even deserve to be on the same floor as the Lynx. First and foremost, you and your buddies are out of shape,
right?
And you're not even that good in the first place, right? But you just assume because they're women that, you're going to overpower them. I bet Maya Moore is 10 times stronger than all those goofball guys, like understairs.
Well, and not even Maya, the best female player on the planet. Who's number 12 on the the 12th person?
They would whoop all those dudes.
Right.
Yeah. Now, here's the funny thing is like, why does it even matter? Like, why do we have to compare the Lynx to some male team? That's stupid. But all these guys who think they would beat them, it's ridiculous to me because you have no idea the skill level, the way they shoot, the condition that they're in, and they're so much stronger.
They play basketball for a living.
Right. Yes,
they play basketball for a living.
The strength.
We do it recreationally.
100%. And it's like there are so many people who will go, and I went to I was at a movie and the Lynx just happened to come in not that long ago. And like, so I'm walking by them all. First off, I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize how big a lot of them were and how tall. And like, they would destroy these guys who think, oh, me and four of my, you'd get crushed. Kevin Hart, after a comedy tour at UConn, took on, I think, Maya Moore and some of the players. Like, it was like a late night, 1 o'clock in the morning, they opened the gym. And it's like Kevin Hart and his buddies from his security team and tour playing Maya Moore and like all these people who won a championship.
Okay.
D1 championship. And at first they're goofing around, like Kevin Hart being funny. And then like about 10 minutes in, he gets serious, right? Because he realizes they're kicking his tail. They're throwing outlet passes. They're doing pick and roll.
Well, not to mention
pick and pop. They're just crushing them.
Not to mention Kevin Hart is like 5'3" anyway.
True.
So
he's small.
What the hell did he think he was going to do?
Well, he's small, but I think he thought he's got a couple big guys on the security team. I think he thought we'll just overpower him. And it was like, no, you don't have the skill to even be on the same floor. Oh, and by the way, 10 minutes in, you can't breathe. And you need medical attention because you can't run with them. Here's why I bring up the Lynx, right? Minnesota now, I believe, has the longest drought in professional sports history now that the Caps have won the NHL, the Stanley Cup, right? Which kudos to the Caps. My question is, you always get this from supporters of the Lynx, and I'm in favor of this. Why don't we recognize them? Like the championship run that they've had and what they've been able to do, over the last 5 or 6 years is remarkable. But when people talk about sports, it's interesting to me that you just never hear them come up. Like they don't come up
about the quote unquote
to justify,
the Big Four.
Justify their success, especially in an area that hasn't won in 30 years. Like I would think you would want to latch on to something that says, "Hey, we're successful too." But I feel like not enough people do that with this great Lynx team that's been so dominant.
But because the Caps won, doesn't it go back to the cities with the 4 major sports? So if you extend that to, the 5, like how many of those markets also have a WNBA team? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably not many, right?
Because there's not. I mean, how many have all 4?
That's a good question.
Is it 10?
There's only a handful. I guess in general, it's like, for me, I don't discount the Lynx and what they've done. I think it's been remarkable, their run. I know they're not one of the 4 major sports, but, if I were from this area, I would say, hey, man, yeah, we haven't won these other sports, and that's what people care about, but the Lynx matter too. I just thought it was interesting that is what people were saying immediately after the Caps won, and a lot of Lynx fans are like, hey, what about us? And I get it. I definitely get it. And it goes back to that point about you couldn't beat the Lynx. I don't care what you think about women's basketball, women's softball. They're far superior to what you might imagine.
They're better than you.
Well, they are so much better than you. And why do we always have to compare them? Like, why do we always have to say, well, could they beat? They're beating the best players in their league who are the best players in the world, and they're doing it consistently. Isn't that enough?
And by the way, the quality of basketball in the WNBA has gotten significantly better in the last decade or so. Like when the league first started and Houston was winning all the titles and everything.
Cynthia Cooper.
Yeah.
Cheryl
Swoops, Tina Thompson. Them. Houston was kind of the dominant team because there just wasn't enough there wasn't a whole lot of depth in terms of the talent pool. But now the league has gotten a lot more talented. There's more teams now. And the quality of basketball is a lot better now than what it was 20 years ago.
I would pay money if there was a video of Kevin Hart playing against the UConn
there is.
women's.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, shut up.
It's on YouTube. No. There is definitely a video. I didn't just.
Yes.
How do you think I knew the details?
Well, I wasn't there. Maybe there was a story out there. I didn't know there was actual video.
There is a video, Reavers, and you got to watch it. And you have to watch it from beginning to the end because the beginning will deceive you. The beginning is just them messing around, and it looks like they're toying with the UConn women's team.
Oh, come on. I just found it.
And then by the end, like Kevin Hart has a moment where he gets really serious, and he's mad at his teammates because they're horrible. And the UConn women are just destroying them, running laps around them. It is. Here's what a lot of people.
We got to post this.
Here's what a lot of people don't know either, right? A lot of people don't realize this about women's teams at the Division I level. I don't want to say most because I guess I'm not sure of that 100%. A lot of them practice against men. There are men's teams at every major university.
Right. Yes.
Of former high school guys, of former guys who maybe could have been walk-on, who play against these women every single day.
The best part of this video, too, is anytime he gets rejected, it goes into slow-mo.
Yes.
So you can really see him just getting
you got to watch it. You got to watch it.
This is great.
They thought that they were going to have a good time with the UConn women, and they got walked. The same way, Joe and his 4 buddies listening now who think they can beat the Lynx, they get walked too. You're not as good as you think you are. And I'm just tired. I get questions from guys all the time about that. Couldn't we? No, actually, the reality is you couldn't. You could not beat them.
It's kind of like when Kenny always tells me that he can skate backwards faster than I can skate forward. It's kind of the same thing. He's always bragging about his footwork and how quick he is on the ice, glory days.
I can't skate at all. I played roller hockey. I could skate backwards and forwards with that.
I wonder if I'd have a chance against the ladies if we played basketball on ice skates.
Probably not.
I don't think I would. I really don't. Because all they would have to do is position themselves so they can pass the ball to each other, and I just fall and fall and fall and fall and fall.
Probably not. We'll talk more about that and others when we get back after this break.
And now we're going to head out east, and we're going to get the Your Money Now report. It comes to us courtesy from Owatonna's own Federated Insurance. Here is Bruce Vail from the Wall Street Journal with Your Money Now.
And not a bad way to end the week. We had small gains today as investors shrugged off concerns surrounding the G7 summit to push stocks higher. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 75 points, closing at 25,316. The NASDAQ Composite rose 10 points, and the S&P 500 gained 8. All 3 indexes did have gains for the full week, with the Dow Industrials up 2.7%. The Senate Judiciary Committee is moving forward with a controversial bill aimed at lowering drug prices. The CREATES Act would crack down on drug companies that use tactics to delay the entry of cheaper generic drugs onto the market. Would you trade in your greasy potato chips for a healthier roasted seaweed snack? California snack maker Sea Snacks is hoping you will and has rolled out Chompers, a new line of seaweed chips in flavors including barbecue, jalapeno, and onion. Chompers are made from sustainably harvested seaweed and are free of trans fats, cholesterol, and high fructose corn syrup. I'm Bruce Vail with your money now on 1500 ESPN.
Hey, way to back up to the pay window. You could have killed another 15 seconds.
Well, yesterday you complained I went too long. Make up your mind.
Have a good weekend, Bruce. We'll talk to him again on Monday a couple of times. Checking traffic here. This one's sponsored by Indeed. The outbound crowd's obviously clustering. Northbound 35E backing it down north of Main Street in Hugo, riding the brakes through Forest Lake up to Highway 8. In Maple Grove, West 94, northbound 494, both of them slowing prior to the Fish Lake split. Things don't shake loose until you clear Brockton, but the rejam's still in place between 101 and the Crow. Are you hiring? With Indeed, you can post a job in minutes, set up screener questions, then zero in on qualified candidates in an online dashboard. Get started at Indeed.com/hire. What? You can't expect me to step all over this.
Sorry, you gave me short
I
notice.
just want to shake my ass when this is on.
No, we don't want that.
Wait a minute now.
My daddy
Speak for
ass.
yourself.
All right, the reason I'm here is I wanted to get in a couple more traffic items before John steps in. Westbound 494, bad 77 over to Xerxes. That's due to a wreck on the shoulder there. In downtown Minneapolis, westbound 94 had a medical at 11th. It's a 16-minute drive between the downtowns. Eastbound between 11. Nice.
Wow.
I like that.
You're my boogeyman.
You hit the
You
hook.
know
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Just call me your traffic daddy, Myron.
Hey, hold on now. Hold on a second, everybody. I'm just filling in. Don't cost me this
Oh, no, you're
opportunity.
all in.
You know.
You're either all in or you're all out. That's the deal.
Don't worry, I get the blame for everything.
I don't know what we're talking about, but let's hear the sports update.
Thanks, Myron. Cloudy is 71 degrees. Twins Angels open up a 3-game weekend series tonight at Target Field. Lance Lynn on the mound for the Twins. Garrett Richards goes for the Angels. Speaking of the Angels, today they put Shohei Ohtani on the 10-day DL with a grade 2 sprain of the ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow. He's already received a platelet-rich plasma injection, according to the Angels. He will be reevaluated in about 3 weeks. Gopher baseball team will begin a 3-game series this afternoon. In fact, about a half hour from right now, against Oregon State at the Beavers' Goss Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon. It's the Beavers' 7th Super Regional appearance since 2005. The winner advances to the College World Series on June 14th through the 27th in Omaha. Today's game is a 4 o'clock game. Tomorrow night's game, 8:30, and then it's a best of 3. So if they have to play Sunday, that would be an 8 p.m. game.
College World Series is on my bucket list. I've heard that is an amazing event.
Yeah, it looks every time. Yeah, watch it. The stadium, everything about it looks fun. Golden State at Cleveland on this station tonight. Game 4 coverage starts at 7 p.m. Golden State, of course, leads that series 3-0.
It's over tonight, right? There's no chance.
Yeah, it's been over.
Yeah, it's probably.
LeBron's already talking like a guy who is ready to go.
I just want him to win one game so I don't have to pay it off a $10 bet that I made with a guy. It's
not happening.
Dang it.
Your bet was that they just need to win one, right?
Right.
Chris, I'll pay you $10 just to shut up.
Okay.
Wow. News notes from today with Representative Keith Ellison's decision to run for state attorney general and 6 DFL candidates still vying to fill his vacancy. The 5th Congressional District DFL has decided to call for a special convention. Party announcing that convention will take place June 17th at the Clara Barton Open School in Minneapolis. The party said in a statement, Congressman Ellison's decision to run for attorney general has resulted in a great deal of confusion and interest regarding how the DFL party will handle the primary election to fill his seat. The elected delegates of our party unit deserve the chance to express their opinion in the primary race and, if they so choose, endorse a candidate. So far, State Rep Ilhan Omar, former Minnesota House Speaker Margaret Anderson Kelleher, State Senator Patricia Torres-Ray, State Senator Bobby Joe Champion, Frank Nelson Drake, and Jamal Abdi Abdullahi are running on the DFL side. According to the party, the decision to hold a special convention was supported by an overwhelming majority of the 5th Congressional District DFL Executive Committee. This is kind of a weird story. Continuing to draw on his clemency powers, President Trump said today he might soon pardon Muhammad Ali.
Huh? Okay.
Well, there's a problem there. There's nothing to pardon him for. Ali was convicted in 1967 for refusing to report for induction into the U.S. military during the Vietnam War. He took this, of course, to the Supreme Court, who overturned
this is fun.
The conviction. So there is
fun.
There is no conviction.
I saw the tweet today, and I seriously thought that somebody hacked his account.
No, he actually said it.
As a press conference.
I saw a tweet where he named a bunch of other people, including Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, he told the reporters at when he stopped.
And then I saw a tweet where he went on a rant about the speed limit in Canada being in kilometers and not miles per hour. Was that real?
Are you serious?
I did not.
I don't know if
Are you sure that was not Rookie?
I kind of got the feeling this has got to be a joke because he said it's not fair to the American truckers, only he spelled fair, F-A-R-E.
Nah, that had to be a fake account of some sort.
That had been like a Trump parody account or something.
Okay, thank goodness. It really scared me.
See, now I got to look it up, though.
Ron Tweed, an attorney for Ali, who died in 2016, pointed out the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Ali's conviction in 1971.
That was a huge case.
In a unanimous ruling, the
movie about it.
Court found that the Department of Justice had improperly told the draft board that Ali's stance was not motivated by his Muslim religious beliefs. Tweed said in a statement, "We appreciate President Trump's sentiment, but a pardon is unnecessary. There is no conviction from which a pardon is needed." Now, what Trump told reporters was, "Hey, look, he was popular, or not very popular then. Certainly his memory is popular now." That's why he wanted to pardon him.
Kenny, it was not a joke. Actually.
Can you read that?
Can I read
that tweet? And I don't want to go on obviously I don't want to go on a political thing here, but
651-646.
No, please, no. I'm not taking either side here. But read that.
If you do that, Reavers, you're answering.
No.
Yeah, read the tweet.
No, I'm not.
I am heading for Canada and the G7 for talks that will mostly center on the long-time unfair trade practice against the United States. From there, I go to Singapore and talks with North Korea, blah, blah, blah.
That's not the
something
one.
else then. I just saw Canada and was just
that's not the one. Okay, I'm relieved.
Anthony Bourdain, the TV celebrity and food writer who hosted CNN's Parts Unknown, found dead in his hotel room today in France while working on the series. He was 61, found unresponsive by friend and chef Eric Rapert near the French city of Strasbourg. The death is being called a suicide. French prosecutor said Bourdain apparently hanged himself in a hotel in the small town of Kiersberg. He first achieved celebrity status after the publication of his best-selling book in 2000, Kitchen Confidential. The book created a sensation by combining frank details of his life and career with behind-the-scenes observations on the food industry. He went on to host several TV travel shows, including No Reservations and most recently Parts Unknown, which is still running on CNN. In fact, the 11th season currently running. He was in France shooting an episode for the 12th season. CNN said it has not made a decision yet on whether to proceed with the current season. Bourdain was twice divorced, has an 11-year-old daughter from his second marriage.
Sad story.
Very sad.
Really sad.
Fox News contributor and syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer says he has only a few weeks to live. He has an aggressive form of cancer. Krauthammer disclosed his doctor's prognosis in a letter released to colleagues, friends, and viewers today. He said he underwent surgery in August to remove a cancerous tumor in his abdomen. Well, it was thought to be successful. He said there were complications that he was overcoming. However, he wrote recently, tests revealed the cancer had returned and is spreading rapidly. Krauthammer says he will leave this life with no regrets. The 68-year-old was paralyzed below the neck in a diving accident, yet graduated from Harvard Medical School in 1975 and practiced psychiatry. He later developed a career as a Pulitzer Prize-winning author and commentator. Montana wildlife officials have captured and relocated a 3-year-old grizzly bear that prompted a call for a refund at a small-town golf course. Golf course manager Michael Martin told the Great Falls Tribune a woman ran in from the first hole, said there was a bear on the course, and asked if she could have her money back. The state bear management specialist Wesley Sarmento took care of the hazard on the 9-hole Pondera golf course in the town of Conrad.
How much
Montana.
was that green fee? Was it? You think it was like $4, $5?
Right.
We're talking
with
a
cart.
We're talking a 9-hole. Was
9-hole in Conrad, Montana.
Par 3 probably. And I've been to Great Falls. There's bears there. You know, it's Montana.
You can find one.
Yeah.
I don't want to find one.
No.
Weren't we just talking like earlier this week or last week? Reusse was talking about they got bears now. They're seeing bears in like Burnsville now or something like that.
Oh, they're out there.
Yeah,
they're
those
everywhere.
are those pie-eating black bears, though. Those guys, it's like having a big fluffy dog. They're really not that harmful.
The bear weighed about 375 pounds, was tranquilized.
It's more than pies. 375.
A few hams.
They did release it on the west side of the
KFC. I mean, that bear stopped my Popeyes.
Dang it, now I want KFC.
Biscuit eating bear.
Oh. I wish I would have thought of that. That's beautiful. It's those biscuit eating bears. John, are you going to give me a minute here?
Sure, if you want.
All right. I want to talk about these closures coming this weekend before we break away.
Kenny, how come it's taking me so long to get into downtown?
Shut up, Francis. 94 will be closed between 394 and 35W. It's tonight through early Monday. And the big news here, when it reopens on Monday, the eastbound 94 ramp, are you listening, Manny? This affects you. The eastbound 94 ramp to southbound 35W will be gone. 3 years it'll be gone. Northbound 35W shutting down just overnight, though, on Sunday between the crosstown and downtown. And this is really significant. The 35W ramps to and from downtown Minneapolis, Grant, 11th, 5th Avenue, all of those closed tonight and will remain closed for the rest of the summer. Northbound, thankfully, reopens this fall, but those southbound ramps out of downtown to southbound 35W, they're going to remain closed for a few years. And now I know a lot of you locals are thinking I can get around these closures just fine by using Hiawatha, Portland Park, Lindale, et cetera, et cetera. Don't do that. Just go out to Highway 100 and use that detour. I live in South Minneapolis, and I see when 35W gets shut down, Hiawatha turns into a parking lot.
Yeah,
it'll take you an hour.
Lights.
Yeah, it'll take you an hour to go from the crosstown into downtown.
There's the light rail going down there, and people are trying to turn, and they're waiting for the train to cross and all that.
A Hiawatha, Cedar, bad options.
So, Kenny, if I were to, because I have to take 35W to Burnsville at my morning job.
The key.
So, could I get on 35, like, say, from a different place in Minneapolis? Like, if I went,
yes. Like,
if I came over, like, towards this way.
Yes.
And where, you get, you go over by, like, where Roseville is, and can I hop on 35W that way and just go straight through?
If you want to cut through Northeast and hop on.
Right,
like,
yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
You still have to work your way through downtown. And it depends. You're leaving really early morning, right?
Yeah, usually about 8 o'clock. Not super early, but
that's not early.
Well, people working there.
That's the peak of the rush.
People working their way through traffic right now probably aren't looking forward to it, but
I guarantee you that route is going to suck if you go over.
Oh, yeah.
If you go,
it already sucks.
Yeah,
just hide out
before
here.
all this stuff.
Camp out here. Just sleep here.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Just sleep here.
Good luck.
We'll be back after this. Myron Medcalf back on 1500 ESPN. I'm disappointed, man. Manny Reavers, I'm very disappointed.
What happened?
I have defended Terrell Owens as much as anybody. When he didn't get in the first 2 times, right? It was third time's a charm for him, I believe,
even
right?
more than that, or was it 3 times?
I think it was 3 times. Third time was a charm. I was definitely vocal about saying, look, man, Randy Moss to me is the greatest specimen that I've ever seen on a football field in modern football. Clearly a Hall of Famer. Clearly, to me, the most talented receiver
in
NFL
the best
history.
Athletes to ever play football.
One of the best athletes. He's in that Bo Jackson, Jim Brown, Deion Sanders kind of caliber, right? With Terrell Owens, to me, it was always, we never saw someone play at a high level for as long as he did. I think he had the record for seasons with at least 750 yards or more, 12 consecutive seasons. Jerry Rice and Randy Moss didn't do that. So I think Terrell was sort of that blend of elite receiver who did it for a long time. Yeah, he bounced around, but had a ton of success.
The numbers are there.
The numbers are there, which is why, unless it was a personality thing, which it was, he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now he gets in with this distinguished class: Brian Dawkins, Urlacher, Randy Moss, Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
And he gets invited to Canton, which, is there a higher honor in sports for a retired player? I mean, is there anything bigger than being in Canton? I know the Baseball Hall of Fame and other halls of fame are big, but I don't think there's a bigger honor than Canton. And what does Terrell Owens do with it? He says, sorry, I'm not coming. He's going to do his own event. He's going to announce it at some point. And this is a guy messing up his next chapter. There are so many retired guys in NFL history who understand how to, approach retirement the right way, make a little money for themselves, remain relevant. How many guys are in TV? How many guys are endorsing products? Terrell Owens could be that. He has that personality. He has that profile. I think people still are intrigued by him. And this ruins it all. Because now all the people in your corner who are so happy to see him get in, who are so happy to see him get recognized by the Hall of Fame, are going, you just wasted it. Mm-hmm. We supported you, and now you're responding like this. I understand he wants to stick it to the man or, stick it to the reporters who didn't give him a chance the first time. This is not how you do it.
I agree with you, and I think he should be there just because if you're going to receive an honor in that regard, you should at least respect your profession to that level. But here's what I will go one step further. The voters that are now coming out, I think Gary Myers was chief among them, but there was a couple that have said, well, now I'd change my ballot. Why? Why does that change?
Yeah, I don't.
But hear me out. So in your mind, you're now making it about you.
100%, which it always was, yeah.
Right.
And that's the problem that I have.
I agree.
It's never, and Pat and I will argue about this because he's a Baseball Hall of Fame voter. And Pat's not one of them, but some of these guys that have a vote make it about themselves. And it's not, my God, it's about the athlete, and it's about the distinction of being a Hall of Fame player.
That's how it should be.
And my thing with T.O., too, by doing this, by saying you're not going to actually show up at Canton, now all he's doing is, like what to piggyback off of what Reavers just said, now he's giving all of these pompous whatever writers and voters, he's giving them ammunition because now those guys can sit back and say, yep, see, this is why he got held out for as long as he did, because look at what he's doing now. He's just giving them more ammunition. And I feel like he's blowing an opportunity to go up to the podium with his gold jacket on and, quite frankly, he can stick it to those guys.
Just do it up there.
Go up there and
exactly.
just
do it up there. You can't
turn it into a 15-minute double gun salute to everybody.
You can't do it when you don't show up.
Take the shots at Skip Bayless that you've been Skip Bayless has been the chief guy and ripping you for a decade plus.
It's just
go
a
up
shame.
And take your shots at it. Just do that. That's
and thank your
fans.
Thank your fans. Thank the people that made you who you are and who supported you. The people who didn't vote for him don't represent the people who've been behind him.
Because there are a lot of people.
There are a lot of people who thought it was ridiculous that he wasn't a first ballot guy.
Because there are a lot of people that do want to see him up on that podium with that gold jacket on.
And now you're disrespecting us. Now you're disrespecting the people who said T.O. should have been in, all because you want to send some sort of message. He just doesn't get it.
And this just seems very petty on his part. It just seems very childish and petty. It's like,
who is he helping?
And the real shame of all of this is no one's going to remember him as the great receiver. This is what they're going to remember.
See, he doesn't get the smart retired players who understand how to create that next chapter after you leave the NFL. He's missed his opportunity.
And here's the other thing, T.O. You only had to wait 3 years. Think of the other guys that have had to wait longer.
Ray Guy had to wait how long? The punter.
Sure.
There's so many guys.
Other guys that were elected after they passed away,
or the guys who never get in.
I was just gonna say, you got a guy like Jim Marshall.
Oh, come on,
one of the greatest defensive players of all time, who is still 40 years after being done, still waiting to get his call.
I'm disappointed in T.O. More after this. Myron Medcalf back here. 1500 ESPN. I try to be transparent on the radio. Talk about who I am as a person, inside, outside the studio. I made a mistake recently. Somehow I let slip to my daughters about what my old rap name was.
Oh, no.
My rap career wasn't long. It wasn't long. It was very limited. I had my boy Yiftak, who, it was like the late 90s where he got one of those fancy computers and like one of those like old school studio equipments, and then he bought like an old microphone, and we had a group. The problem when you form a group is you got to come up with rap names on the spot.
Yeah.
You can't, there's no time, there's no Wu-Tang name generator online at the time. You got to come up with a name on the spot. And I did, and I let it slip, and now my girls, I feel like, are using it against me, and I don't know how I feel about that. That's what kids do.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about it though. But I mean, hey, let me have my childhood. Okay? If I said come up with a rap name right now, it'd be hard to do, right? Mm-hmm. That's the situation I was in like '97.
Wait,
Gift Talk had the equipment.
I got it.
What you got?
I'm Nilla Wafer.
Yeah, I don't. You regret that. You would regret that.
I got Manny.
You would regret that. Manny, you got a rap. What would your rap name be, Manny? Would you have one?
Oh, gosh, I can't even.
See, Gift Talk was the producer. Really, he was the producer because he had the computer, right?
Yep.
And, everybody had a cool name. My buddy came up with one, Ill Skill.
Ooh, that's good.
Which was the best rap name ever, right? Another buddy of mine, The Cat. Because that's actually what we called him. He was The Cat. Then it was on to me. And the name I came up with was M. Diggity. Now that's all I had at the time, okay? It wasn't like I had any opportunity to research.
Did you
listen, my rap career was like 3 months long, and I didn't have a lot of time to think about it. I let that slip, and now it's being used against me in my own house, and I don't like that. Don't like it at all. We'll be back after this.